The war in Ukraine has entered a new phase. After 3 years of brutal conflict, Ukraine has put forward a proposal for a 30-day ceasefire. This proposal, announced on March 12, 2025, represents a significant development in the ongoing conflict. The ceasefire is conditional on Russia's agreement to several key terms. These conditions include a halt to all hostilities and the withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukrainian territory. The ceasefire proposal comes amidst a backdrop of escalating violence. Just recently, Russia claimed to have neutralized a massive drone attack by Ukrainian forces. This attack, which targeted 10 regions within Russia, involved over 300 drones. It marked the largest such operation since the war began. The timing of the attack, just prior to the ceasefire announcement, underscores the volatile nature of the conflict. The Ukrainian government has emphasized that the ceasefire is a crucial step towards peace. They argue that it will provide a much-needed respite from the violence and create an opportunity for dialogue. However, the proposal has been met with mixed reactions both domestically and internationally. Within Ukraine, public opinion is divided. While many Ukrainians welcome the prospect of a ceasefire, there are concerns about the potential consequences. Some fear that Russia will use the ceasefire to regroup and rearm, only to launch a renewed offensive later. Others worry that a ceasefire will solidify Russia's control over the occupied territories. The United States has welcomed Ukraine's ceasefire proposal. In a significant move, the Trump administration announced the resumption of military aid and intelligence sharing with Ukraine. This decision follows a period of strained relations between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky. The suspension of aid had drawn criticism from both Democrats and Republicans, who accused Trump of using foreign policy for personal gain. The resumption of aid is seen as a sign of the U.S.'s commitment to supporting Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. It also reflects the growing concern within the U.S. government about Russia's increasingly assertive posture in the region. The Trump administration has stated that it will work with its allies to pressure Russia into accepting the ceasefire proposal. The U.S. response to the ceasefire proposal has been met with cautious optimism in Ukraine. While Ukrainian officials welcome the renewed support from Washington, they remain skeptical of Russia's willingness to engage in meaningful negotiations. They argue that Russia has repeatedly violated previous ceasefire agreements and has shown no indication of changing its overall strategy. In a surprising turn of events, Saudi Arabia has emerged as a key player in the diplomatic efforts to end the war in Ukraine. On March 12, 2025, high-level meetings took place in Jeddah between U.S. and Ukrainian officials. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz met with a Ukrainian delegation led by Andriy Yermak, the head of the Ukrainian Presidential Office, and Defense Minister Rustem Umerov. The choice of Saudi Arabia as the venue for these talks is significant. Saudi Arabia has traditionally maintained close ties with both the United States and Russia. However, in recent years, Riyadh has taken a more assertive stance in regional affairs, often clashing with Moscow's interests in the Middle East. The U.S. delegation expressed its support for Ukraine's ceasefire proposal and pledged to convey it to Russia. They also emphasized the need for a peaceful resolution to the conflict that respects Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The ceasefire proposal and the diplomatic efforts surrounding it offer a glimmer of hope for a peaceful resolution to the conflict in Ukraine. However, significant challenges remain. Russia has yet to respond to the proposal, and its intentions remain unclear. Some Russian officials have hinted at the possibility of negotiations, but they have also reiterated Moscow's demands for Ukraine's neutrality and recognition of the annexed territories. Meanwhile, hardliners within Russia have rejected any talk of a ceasefire, arguing that Russia should continue its military campaign until it achieves its objectives. The coming days and weeks will be crucial in determining whether the ceasefire proposal can pave the way for a lasting peace in Ukraine. The international community must maintain pressure on both sides to engage in meaningful dialogue and seek a negotiated settlement that addresses the legitimate security concerns of all parties involved.